Thank you guys all for being here today. My name is Steve Martinson, Vice President of AMGAS Services. I'm here today with Dave Bender, the Turnaround Shutdown Specialist for AMGAS. Dave comes with an array of turnaround shutdown experience and is a real industry leader in everything kind of turnaround, shutdown, major maintenance. So very happy that Dave was able to join us for this. Next, we have AMGAS's Chief R&D Chemist, Dr. Mike Shields. Mike has a PhD in applied chemistry with a sulfur specialization from the U of C. Mike's work in the development of H2S solutions has been renowned domestically and across the globe. Today, of course, we're talking about shutdowns and turnarounds, specifically H2S and emission control, and how AMGAS provides the highest level of solutions in that space. Mike, I would attribute one of our most valuable differentiators to your work. That is the ability for AMGAS to utilize reliable, proven, yet field-administered test methods to establish chemical fitness instead of waiting for a release before we take action. What impact would you say this has on our service offering?
Steve, it's a huge impact and a differentiator for AMGAS. The ability to be able to predict exactly when that endpoint is going to be for full chemical saturation is literally was a missing piece in the industry for quite some time.
Excellent. And one other thing I really appreciate about your work is you understand our overall responsibility to our clients. Can you elaborate a little bit on how our whole package is defined by a responsibility and a result?
Yeah, absolutely. At the end of the day, because we're so heavy in the H2S world, H2S is you have to respect it. So that means that when we put out technologies, me personally, plus AMGAS in general, has a responsibility to be able to not only execute on the job safely, but also in the same breath, make sure that people are, the job's getting performed properly. And in reality, it's a tough responsibility, but we take pride in how we operate these type of situations, what type of packages we put in the field, the chemical selection that we have at our fingertips that has been developed, and then all the associated questions that have to go along with that in order to be able to get the proper solution into each unique problem in this particular space.
Another key element to our package is 24/7 operation support and field staff that AMGAS is able to provide. Dave, can you elaborate a bit further on the value you find our operation team brings to your service offering?
Yeah, absolutely. Alongside our largest fleet in H2S and emission control equipment, we have multiple service locations strategically placed throughout Canada and globally. As well, we have our in-house field technician training that we've designed over the years and developed, and it works well with our safety programs and puts us in compliance with our clients and exceeds their expectations.
So this actually is a conversation that I'd like to hear from both of you on. In the past, H2S was basically the primary target for emission controls and turnaround operations. Over the last, several years, we've seen a huge increase in the requirement to control other types of emissions, other types of harmful emissions. Dave, can you allude to what AMGAS does and what you're seeing from your clients as a requirement to control additional contaminants to H2S?
Of course. We originally built our business on just scrubbing H2S, but we realized that we've been running into over the past 10 years or so that there's a lot of other emissions that are very noxious to the environment, communities, that sort of thing. And that being said, that's around like the B-techs, so benzene, toluene, ethylbenzene, that sort of thing. So we like to use a two-phase system that we've developed by scrubbing the H2S primarily upstream from that, and then removing and capturing the C3 plus or B-techs primarily.
So with the evolution of kind of the turnaround space and the emission control space, Would you say that now we're seeing a large number of turnaround applications that are presented to us that don't even have H2S as one of the key components?
Absolutely, yeah. We definitely deal with it in Eastern Canada, where it's strictly just a gasoline tank or a benzene tank or ethylbenzene. So again, we still use a two-phase scrubber for safety purposes. We'll have a wet scrubber upstream and to capture the emissions off the tank or whatever it may be in the downstream.
So Mike, as the gentleman who is going to kind of be responsible for our, let's call it some of our technical dealings on site, obviously through our operations group, what would you say is important and one of the keys to having AMGAS trained technicians on site when dealing with multiple streams now of gas, as opposed to just H2S primarily? Now we've got a plethora of different contaminants. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, as you guys have both alluded to, very rarely does H2S exist in a contaminated gas stream in the absence of other potential hydrocarbon contaminants. So as a part of our training, this is the one thing. Obviously, there is an H2S focus as a part of that training, but equally as important and was critical in the development of some of these new concepts that we bring forth successfully into these jobs comes the hydrocarbon portion of the training, where all of a sudden our field techs are equally as well-rounded as possible to understand all the different contaminants within that gas stream, and then being able to not only identify a potential problem that is about to come down the pipe in a potential project, and then obviously bring that information back to our team so that we can get ahead of it as soon as possible in a project.
We can never be a one-size-fits-all, right? And that we take our learnings and apply them moving forward.
Oh, 100%. At the end of the day, you're exactly correct. We can't be one size fits all, but when we do get those challenging situations where the clients that we work with don't have the answers that we potentially want, we also do have the overall general solution that will get the job done until some of this information starts getting acquired throughout the project. And that's where, and the reason why we take that approach, obviously, is because we put safety at the utmost importance. So that particular solution is we know for a fact that the solution will work at time zero when the project first starts. And at the end of the day, as this information comes out, obviously, if our chemical consumption is getting too high, we can do an evaluation on the fly and see if there's a better solution to this particular problem now that we have some of the information that we originally requested. So we're pretty adaptable, we're nimble, but obviously more importantly, we put a high onus and pride on getting the job done properly.
That's an excellent point, and a very, you mentioned the pride thing. AMGAS has always taken a tremendous amount of pride in being a part of planning in turnarounds and shutdowns and being the most prepared, but at the same time having the ability to be ready, set, go if something comes up or we're needed right there. And further to Dave's point, our strategically located facilities allows us to be on site when needed, ready to go right away. So that's excellent. Dave, I'm going to go back to you here. Oil and gas obviously has been our key focus for 30 years. Can you discuss some other areas where you see AMGAS turnaround shutdown services being applied, being utilized, and being successful?
Sure can, yeah. In addition to oil and gas and petrochemical, where we've built our business up, we've had actually great success in the agriculture side as well as pulp and paper, using similar systems and the same system as we do in the oil and gas industry. And just removing the H2S and any other emissions that are noxious to the environment.
So emissions really aren't just a oil and gas problem?
Absolutely not, no.
Excellent. So further to that, I'd like to thank everybody for watching and remind, I guess, the viewers that we love to talk turnarounds. So let's hear about your upcoming projects. We'd love to provide a quote. Feel free to contact us. Our details will be on the screen. Have a great day.